boat. Look at this nice guy. It looks like he's trying to be intimidating. He just looks goofy as fuck, like shaking his tentacles. He's just shaking.
In some cases reasonable, in other cases not. There's like a whole lot of challenges around monster AI.
I love that for the melee bad part, it's just fucking cleave and double strike, which is like two of the most dog shit early game melee skills there are. It's perfect. Like Cleave's Roa's default attack is longer range than Cleave in Mudflats. It's so bad.
Like, which it's crazy how you can follow the go down the rabbit hole with these things. Is we have just officially decided you are not portaling out of boss fights anymore.
There was also things like, for example, we were finding.
Holy fuck! If they actually, I've heard they already nerfed some of the bosses from what we played against in March for the console thing that happened in June, but we were allowed to portal out still back then. Didn't matter if you're Ranger and you had the good life flash sustain nodes, but if you didn't have those bosses were tanky as fuck. They were hard. They did so much damage. Like now being able to portal and they heal the full if you die. Like, I'm telling you, when this comes out in early access, if the tuning is anywhere close to what we had, there's going to be some streamers, I'm not going to name them, that literally can't get past Act 1. Like, they're going to be hard stuck. They're going to be hard stuck. I hope the tuning is fucking just bullshit, like, just completely overtuned for this early access. I really hope so. It's gonna create some content. Hard stuck the coast. Some of those bosses they're strong, man. They're powerful. I'm not talking about Quinn. Look, if Quinn is hard stuck in Act 1, it's because it's content. It's content. I'm talking about people that are not gonna be happy and laughing as they die. They're gonna be fucking mad. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait.
Finding that melee classes don't have enough life, so then we're like, okay, we need to find a way to solve that problem. We don't have life in the passive tree anymore. We've now made it so that the life you get from strength is way higher. Then we started like, okay, we need to make the mana higher from intelligence. Like this, it's just started just like rippled out into this like massive giant balanced storm.
One thing to remember about that, assuming this hasn't changed, stat nodes are no longer stat nodes. They are like prismatic stat nodes, where when you take it, you choose strength, X, or int. At least that's how it was for travel nodes. Back in March, it might have changed by now, who knows. But like, you need to have the way stat requirements worked on support gems, for example, was the first support gem you put in. I don't actually know if it scaled them all up, but what it felt like was the first support gem you put in would require like 13 dex, and the second would require like 25 dex, and the third would be like 50 dex. What I don't know is if, like, are the first and the second support also scaling up in dex as you add and just make it a 4-link? Or does the order of support gems actually matter? I don't remember if it mattered. Like, you want strength because base life is better than like whatever dex or int provides. You're kind of just picking based on your stat requirements of your support gems. I think it was adding the requirements of each support together. I hope that's accurate, and I think that'd feel the best, because it would be weird if the order mattered and you had to like put your int support gem first because you're dumb. Just full adding makes the most sense, I think. Speaking of visibility, I need a setting to turn this life bar the fuck off. I never want to see that ever in any scenario. Get it off my screen.
A lot more is like,
it's in the spot where it has to be, like nowhere else makes sense. But like, it's just clutter. The information is not important in most cases. Maybe in PoE it'll be a little more important. But like, whether or not this lightning res icon is like, red or green or whatever color it is when it goes negative, like it's not going to impact any choices that I make, usually. So I don't need to see it always. If I want to see it, I can like hover over the boss and then get the life bar, and then I can know. But I hope I can turn this off, both in PoE 1 right now and then also in PoE 2. So like if you were underneath the boss, for example, in melee of the boss right here, with this giant boss bar, and then also with the hover bar, you'd be in melee of the boss and be having his visuals blocked by like just screen elements.
So yeah, melee has certainly all the damage
Block
advantage.
manual,
then it's then just,
yes.
are you good enough to maintain the uptime? Or have you spec defensively enough that you can, you know...
It's manual, but it's stronger. It's like, instead of just chance to not take damage, it's like you press a button, I think you move a little slower, and you hold your shield in front of you. And I think most attacks don't work when you're blocking. It's like an alternative stance. And you just like fully block anything in that moment, but there's like a cap on how much damage you can block. But it sounds like it could be really good. It's like you know, choosing to not take damage when you are responding to something that is happening on your screen is like, you know, a little more interesting than just like put my guard skill on cast and damage shaken on every character always, because it's just objectively the best. Just watching a WASD character move around, like, it bothers me. Is that just me? It's like it makes the game look so different when they're only moving in like the 8 directions compared to like mouse movement. Like it looks wrong, right? It looks so weird. I'm sure when you're playing it feels fine, but just watching, it's like the way the character is moving. It feels like so rigid because of how the, you know, directional system works when you can only move in 8 directions, compared to like mouse where it's like a, you know, very smooth. I didn't play WAC at all, no. I was gonna test it out, but because we couldn't modify keybinds, I didn't want to do it without being able to control like what the keybinds changed to. And mouse movement felt great on Ranger. Ranger does feel really good. Yo, if you watch the March thing that we did, like half the people there were playing Ranger. Because like Ranger can shoot while moving. That's just how the game works now. Like when you shoot lightning arrow, you just move at half speed while you're shooting it, but you can do it while moving, which feels fucking insane. I saw that and I was instantly like, okay, I'm playing ranged. And it did feel really good. But also, like, monsters are different. Basically, every single monster tracks you in that game. So, like, in PoE 1, if you're strafing around a boss, that's kind of how you beat almost everything. It's the bosses don't track you except for Hailbreak. So if you just do a tiny movement, you're always good. In PoE 2, they track you. So, like, you can move while shooting. But moving isn't as OP. Like, they'll track you and then you have to, like, roll or use something else. I really hope we have good move skills in this game. That's the one thing that I think I'm going to be the most sad about if we don't have is good move skills. I love me some move skills. Yo,
One of the things that once again wasn't in the build that you.
oh my
like,
god, I just
you did a
realized
full
and
rebalance
remembered,
of, the way that,
even
defenses
when
work.
the boss frame isn't there, the hover over frame is like so much bigger and like more in your face. It's not at the top. It's like in the same like lower position. It's like so close to your character.
The life change and like but armor's changing. Like there's a lot of things like that. Like all of these defensive systems have to change as well. There's actually quite large defensive changes,
Here, it's like-
even just generally across that. Like all of these defensive
If
systems
you
have to.
needed to see what any of the range monsters were doing, it was important to know if these arrows were like enchanted or about to fucking explode. Like, good luck. This giant fucking life bar is like, I want a smaller life bar up here and nameplates. I don't think we had nameplates in LA, and the demo version we were on didn't have access to the UI stuff, so we couldn't like check to turn it on. I think Frostblink of Wintry Blast, but with the cast time and like the alt version and a cooldown, is like the absolute best caster move skill they might give. But I don't even think that's gonna exist. My expectation is that most move skills like Leap Slam is super slow. It is like it's meant to do damage now. I think most move skills are gonna either be super slow or they're gonna be fast, but they require a target. So it's like you're leaping to something. which does feel really good and can be fun to use. But if you're ever backtracking, you're just sitting there like, I'm so fucking slow. With my no Quicksilver Flask, no monsters to jump to, just walking.
Yep,
Previously,
so evasion,
that
evasion
differently.
works. There's no distinction anymore between a spell attack on a monster, so therefore evasion works against them. Instead, what we have is things like evasion. If you have an attack from the ground or the sky, then evasion can't evade that. So like if a slam is not available, but a
that is going to make evasion so bad, I think. We'll see. We'll see. Like, for boss abilities, totally fine, right? Totally fine. Not a problem at all. If fucking Hillick ground slams you, you shouldn't be able to evade it. It's a slow wind up. It should hit you. But the fact that like, non-evadable damage that exists feels like it's going to create the exact same problem of the whole, like, spells versus attacks. Where it's like, this monster doesn't actually shoot an arrow at you, it calls down a fucking arrow from the sky, so now it can't be evaded. Or like something weird like that. It's like a very similar distinction and just like fully disabling like one mechanic that's like not very clear to see from an incoming point of view if they apply it kind of liberally to smaller abilities. We'll see. If it's like a Vowel Slam kind of thing, like obviously it's fine. But yeah, our campaign and maps. Yeah, like the current mindset you have, because you've played this game for so long, in the first version of the game, campaign is, man, fuck this, I don't care, I just want a map, because it doesn't matter. Don't carry that mindset over to a brand new game. Like, you have no clue, like, anything about this campaign, and it's going to be like a, you know, discovering new things mindset, not a, you know, fuck this, skip everything. It's going to be sick. Even though it is going to take a long time. But it's probably gonna take like 10 plus hours, maybe like 15, maybe more. Who knows? For the very first playthrough, and then you figure out what quests actually matter, and then you know plan out the routes, and then you get faster, make a better build, and then suddenly it's like 5 hours. Yoink! You want to keep watching that? That is Ziggity talking to Mark and Jonathan about PoE 2. I'm gonna watch the rest of it probably in a bit.